ready to talk, you have to speak it. Is there anything that you need to say? Good. Okay. All right.
All right, and Mr. Miranda, if that has a seat on it, if you would like to be seated, that's fine. If that will help you.
I think I can stand.
All right.
Just a little bit of pain.
All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 0683, State of Texas versus Mario Miranda. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Not done for the state.
for the defense?
Michael J. Sawyer.
Are you Mr. Miranda?
Yes, ma'am.
You entered a plea of no contest on May 17th. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. The state opposes your application. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with the complainants. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state,
Yes, Your Honor.
defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, defense?
Just one discrepancy in an account, and we have a copy of that report that was filled out by SAPD Patrolman Torres. State has given a copy of that report this morning. And does the court have a copy of that in their possession as part of the PSI?
Yes, I have a copy of the PSI. If you'll direct me to what page?
Well, I'm looking at it. Judge, look at that report.
No worries.
So John, simply give the court the report, the state will not object.
All right, I have a copy of, the police report.
Police report, yes, ma'am.
All right, and this is defense exhibit number 1, the defense, you're not offering into evidence, you're just asking the court to review?
That is correct, and I have a couple of questions about it, and I said that I believe the court can review it and
Yes.
see the discrepancy.
Can you move up the mic a little bit more?
Certainly. Ms. Miranda or me?
Well, I guess me.
You're opposed?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if you would like to present your argument?
Yes, Your Honor. So we'll present, we thank you for the opportunity for just a brief argument. And this is an individual, Your Honor, wherein lack of accountability seems to be kind of first and foremost here. You have their partner, which, said he, friends have told me he's looking for me. I believe he's going to kill me. He's a very violent man. You have her son saying he's the type of man that, again, will come and find us. He's threatened to kill me. No care, no remorse, no sympathy, no empathy. And even in the defendant's version of events, there's just a complete lack of accountability.
Well,
All of this is based on lies. I don't want probation, but I don't want to go to prison. So not only is there no accepting of consequences, there's no actual acceptance of what's underlying. And again, I think you have two complainants wherein the version of events, as is noted in the stipulations that the court has reviewed, and it is noted in the PSI, it started over something pretty benign. I think that's what bothers the state the most. This was over a disagreement involving a taco. And then after that discussion, defendant has his version, but through pretrials and all the discovery given to defense and the police reports and the other evidence that was disclosed over the defense, a pretty clear version of events is that if the young man had not taken this individual's gun away, 2 people might be dead. And so given their complete lack of disregard or complete lack of regard and a disregard for human life and for consequences, that is in summation, the state's opposition to probation in this case, Your Honor.
All right, so here's my question. And if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Mario Miranda.
All right. So, are you currently living in Bexar County?
Yes, ma'am.
Who do you live with?
Now. Pardon me, ma'am?
Who lives with you?
Just me and my girlfriend and my oldest son.
All right. So how do you know the people who were involved in this?
How do I know? She was my ex-wife and divorced in '93, and that was her other son that she had while we were married. Was my son, and well, she had the audacity to go have that son under my insurance, under my hospital from the VA.
All right. So here's the thing. you know, mother's baby, father's baby, but that's all on you because you allowed that to happen. All you had to do was a DNA test. So we're past the point of you're trying to seek sympathy for the court because you've been paying for a son who's biologically not your son. I'm trying to figure out who were all the people who were in the home and were you all living together when this happened?
Yes, ma'am. I have my two sons and her son and her, and nobody was paying except for me.
Nobody was what?
Paying, for nothing.
All right, then you should have put people out. They're all adults.
Yeah, exactly. I should have put them out.
All
But
right.
I had compassion for especially her because she was renting an apartment with my oldest son, and they lost the apartment. They got evicted, and she was supposed to have heart surgery. She hasn't had heart surgery since then. It was all a lie, I think.
All right, and what is this about a taco?
Well,
State
The
says
whole
this
thing
is,
happened that we were having a yard sale, and she was there with her sister, and she said, "There's nothing for breakfast." I said, well, "Okay, fine. I'll go to HEB and get this stuff." But she said, "Well, I'll cook for all of us." Well, it turned out she cooked for everybody else except for me. And I said, "Thank you for the taco." That's all I said. And then she started at me, and then all of a sudden, I got her son on me. And he got up like he threatened me and said, "Yo, this and that, and vulgar language. I'll do this to you right now." And he's a weightlifter in MMA. See, and that's what I was afraid of, that he was going to get me. So I went to my room. I got my gun, and I was going to leave the house. I was going to holster my weapon,
Mhm.
and I was going to leave, but I still had a license to carry and everything, and I was able to defend myself that way. I couldn't fight with a young man like that. And I was gonna leave the house, but then as I was going out, when after the weapon was taken away from me and everything, then he assaulted me in the kitchen. And when the officers came, she right away, my ex-wife, right? She right away started saying he was pointing the gun at me and my son, and it was only him. I mean, my other son was there, and he's the one that took my weapon away from me. And that was taking it out of the pouch. And as soon as I got out of the pouch, he had the gun in his hand. So there was no assault there. And she lied, for the longest time. She's been trying to get my money out of the VA also, saying that she's my common law wife. And in all the report that she makes, my husband. I'm not her husband. Divorced her back in 93.
Okay. All right. Any questions?
Would it surprise you that the version of events, again, this was all disclosed to counsel, that the complainant, the young man, said that the actual version of the account is that you got home angry and that you were yelling at Maria and they said, "Lay off her." And you said, "Well, don't tell me nothing because I'll put a bullet in your head if you don't shut up."
Oh,
Does it surprise you that that's the account that was given to the state?
That's a question. He's asking a question. He wants you to answer it.
The question is, does that surprise you that that's the version or the account that was given to the state?
I didn't know about that.
Okay.
That's why I didn't know nothing about that.
My second question is, if you were so intent on leaving, right, so the door to the outside where the garage sale was happening
Yes.
was right next to the kitchen where the stove was, but
Right.
instead you chose to walk all the way down the hall past 3 bedrooms to the last one on the left to then retrieve your gun. Isn't that correct?
No. The gun was in the last bedroom. That was my bedroom.
Correct. The gun is in the last bedroom on the left. Yes or no?
Yes, he went there. Yes.
Right.
He followed me from the dining area to the room, and so did she. And then my other son, middle son, Nick, he's the one when I was taking out the weapon that he took it away from me then.
So if Nick hadn't taken the gun away from you after you threatened two people multiple times to shoot them in the head, do you think they would be dead had he not taken the gun away?
No, sir. I never made any kind of threat.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. So I will tell you both, this is what I'm reading in the police report, and this is a witness. And it's witness 1, and it's on page 2 of the police report. It says, on July 16th, I called witness 1 for a statement and conducted it over the phone. Witness 1 said he initially heard arguing between AP and victim 2. His brother, victim 1, then intervened and began arguing with the AP. And your client, of course, is AP. Witness said that victim 1 told AP that he needed to be beat up for the way he was acting. Witness 1 believes this sounded like a threat to AP. AP then went into his bedroom. Witness 1 heard victim 1 yell that AP was going to get his gun. Witness 1 did not hear AP verbally threaten victim 1 or victim 2. Witness 1 said he saw AP take his gun out and point it sideways. Witness 1 quickly pulled AP's arm up in the air and got the gun from his hand. Witness 1 did not see AP point the gun directly at victim 1 and 2. Witness said he then went to go hide the gun in a box. Witness 1 stated while he was hiding the gun, another argument started in the kitchen. Witness 1 said he walked in the kitchen and saw victim 1 on top of on top of AP. Witness separated them and asked for police to be called. So that's what witness 1 is saying. Is there anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right, so this is what the court is going to note. Because this case, is it a difficult case for the court to make a decision on? Yes. But what I have, the person I have standing before me, based upon the PSI report and everything else, it shows that he is a veteran. And then see, where did here we are. On page 6 of the PSI report, he is on no less than 26 medications. And he has several mental health issues. He has PTSD, neuropathy in both legs, osteoarthritis, knee replacement, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, benign prostate, hypertrophy, gastroesophageal reflux disease, hyperlipidemia, hematochezia, tuberculosis of the colon, hearing loss, erectile dysfunction, cardiac murmur, anemia, microcytosis, bilateral cataracts, cherry angioma, polymyalgia, rheumatica, hemorrhoids, depressive disorder, psychotic disorder. And then they have him on 26 medications. And what I'm reviewing in the police report, I understand that the charge is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I understand that the defendant has entered a plea to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon based upon what witness 1 is saying and the other witnesses. I believe the truth is somewhere in the middle because the defendant has his truth. The complainants in the case have their truth. And usually, sometimes it's best to get truth from witnesses because they technically may not have a dog in the fight. But I do understand in this case, some witnesses were what he says, his children. Some witnesses was her child. I understand all of this. So the way I see my job is 1, what is the appropriate sentence for him? And also protect the community. And protecting the community means protecting the people who are the complainants in this case.
And Your Honor, may I speak just
Yes.
very, very briefly? I believe in terms of what was just spoken about even today, there seems to be kind of two
Camps?
No, it camps, absolutely, and almost two events within one day, wherein the allegation of the aggravated assault via pointing the weapon, and then the kind of scuffle after the fact.
Yes.
And I just so that, it was, I think, more clear on the state side, and I should have done this sooner, but even the eyewitness, so the two complainants and eyewitness, quote, he stated he observed S1 retrieve the gun and point it towards the victims. And then later in that paragraph, he said he did not, quote, I did not observe any physical assault. So even the eyewitness, there's no question, again, in terms of the state's perspective on the pointing, but absolutely cannot corroborate with respect to eyewitness testimony, the latter scuffle, if you will.
Oh, no, and I understand. All of this started over taco.
Yes,
Um,
and they would fight like that all the
Stop.
time. I'm sorry, ma'am.
all right. So my understanding is like the individual children who are involved are adults. The other complainant is his ex-wife. They don't have any young children where there needs to be any sort of custody arrangements. There's no need for them to have any contact. I can give him deferred adjudication, but he is not allowed to have possession of any weapons, period.
Mhm.
You
You know,
say,
if I may, I had a long discussion with my client about that. He agrees. Any condition imposed by the court, he will follow it.
Yes, ma'am.
all right, so I'm telling you, and I look at his criminal history, and this is his criminal history, this case. I don't, and of course, he has a previous, driving while intoxicated.
Hmm.
So his history is driving while intoxicated in this case. And he's done probation for the driving while intoxicated previously, and that probation was terminated. And I'm sorry, he had a theft of service, which is with a check, where he wrote a check and didn't pay. So he has a theft of service, DWI in this case. And in this case, what I'm viewing is number one, all of these grown adults who are living in his home, who shouldn't even be there. Get a job, go live somewhere else if you don't like the rules. I understand this was an issue over a taco.
Mhm.
You have the issue of the taco compounded by there having a garage sale, and garage sales never go the way people expect it. They always think they're going to make a lot of money. You pay for your permit and then you make maybe $2. So we have that going on. And then we have the PTSD with him. And then we have all of these medical issues. I just don't think this case is necessarily a prison case. And honestly, I don't think he would survive in prison. And when I say survive in prison, I mean because of all of his medical issues. And that would cost the government more money to place him at the prison. All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's going to be an affirmative finding of family violence. The court is going to sentence you to 5 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with the following. There's to be no contact with Jonathan Garcia and Maria Garcia. The court notes that you're receiving your benefits from the VA and also receiving other benefits. You're going to need to provide that to probation. So, Ms. Abrams, I don't believe he's able to work based upon all of his medical conditions. So he'll just provide proof of VA benefits to probation within 30 days. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular UAs, although, Ms. Abrams, I think that UA is going to be filled with positive based upon all the medications. You're going to need to provide probation with a list of your medications. You understand?
I already have them.
All right.
I've done all-
No. Listen to me. Provide them with a list of your medications. Right. And let me see. All right, there's going to be outpatient treatment with the VA. There should be weekly sober meetings with the VA until further notice. I'm not going to order community service hours. I don't believe he's able to complete community service hours. Is there any objection?
Not at all.
None.
All right. There is going to be field visits, random, one time per month until further notice. And probation, if you could let the officers make sure that there are no weapons in that home. Probation, is there anything else?
Judge, are you making a decision for him not to be allowed to have any weapons?
Yes. You're not allowed to possess any weapons. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing else, Judge.
All right. Is there anything else you need from the court?
No, ma'am. I don't think so.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of, oh, I'm sorry. There's also an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Did you review that and sign that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Miranda, here's the thing. If you cannot get along with people, you shouldn't let people live with you. And you're not to have any contact with them. If you end up having contact with them, a motion to revoke is going to be filed, and you're looking at 20 years in the prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any questions about my instructions to you or what you need to do?
Them showing up in my home.
Call the police.
Okay. I understand.
All right. You'll need to call the police if they show up. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
On behalf of my client, and thank the court for the consideration today.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one. Oh, and Mr. Sawyer, how's your wife?
Very much better. Thank you.
All right. Awesome.
Making my life a lot easier.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you for asking.
Thank you, Ron.
And that wraps up today's case. Do you think the judge made the right call, or would you have ruled differently? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a case. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.